Hi everyone, welcome to my day. It's been a very interesting day so far, primarily because I've been reading through all of the comments that you guys and girls left on yesterday's video that I put online about Apple's product announcements. I'll come on to that in a short while. But my day so far has been doing some courier runs, and I also got a sore arm because I had my flu vaccination today. I don't know why, I've had that for the last let me say 5 or 6 years. I mean, I'm not in that category where I need to have it done, but I felt probably 6 years ago, I felt, well, why not have it done? I pay sort of £10 or £15 for the vaccination, and it means that at least I'm protected against a lot of the different strains of flu that happen sort of between October and March. So it just gives me peace of mind, I suppose. So anyway, back to the comments on yesterday's video. Thank you very much to all of you for taking part in the discussion and for really giving me some feedback on that very short and concise video I did. It came out just over 3 minutes and covered all of the new Apple product announcements. Now, I did make one mistake in that video, and that was I said that the iPad Mini 3 was thinner, lighter, faster, the same as the iPad Air 2, when in fact the iPad Mini 3 really didn't get much changes apart from slightly design changes. So it sort of mirrors the new design of the iPad Air 2, and it also has the new colours and the Touch ID, like the fingerprint sensor on it. As far as I can tell from Apple's notes, they haven't made any changes to the processor or the speed or the memory and things like that. And the screen technology, I'm assuming that stayed the same as well. They changed the screen very slightly on the iPad Air 2 so that it's less reflective. I'm not sure if they carried that over into the iPad Mini 3 as well. So just to make that correction, and also there was a bit of confusion where I said about the 5K iMacs. I said there's 67% more pixels than the previous generation. I was really referring to them being 67% more pixels than a 4K resolution monitor. Now, something else very interesting was sort of messaged to me via the comments on that very video from a long-time viewer called Dominic, and I want to thank you for bringing this to my attention. And it's very, very true actually, and basically Dominic was saying that it seems that Apple get a lot of free press, a lot of free publicity around their events and around new product announcements. Even when they do sort of quiet refreshes of product lines, people jump on it and they report on it. Whereas Google, who recently announced 3 very, very exciting products, didn't get as much coverage. And I think that's because Apple are very, very good at what they do. They've got a lot of friends in, or a lot of friends and contacts, I should say, within the sort of journalist community. And they really play the game well. They've got their marketing really very well sorted out. Whereas Google, for the most part, don't. You know, they should be much better at it than they are. And it prompted me to respond and say, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And I had planned on talking to you about the Google announcements in today's video anyway. So it was a nice segue to actually talk about it. So here we go. Now, Google announced a new device for connecting to your television. And it's similar to Apple TV, similar to Amazon's Fire TV, except obviously it works with Google services, and it has the option of adding on a controller for an additional £40, I think it's something like that. Now, is that something I would be interested in covering on the channel? Yes, it is. Is it something that would be appealing to other people? Well, it really depends on if you live within that ecosystem and you're going to use the features and services that are served up by this device on your large screen TV. For the most part, I would probably favour getting an Apple TV or even an Amazon Fire TV, because I'm an Amazon Prime member, so I get free streaming of all their content. I think the thing that stops me from getting the Amazon Fire TV as an example, I know I'm digressing off the main topic here, is that I can get Amazon Prime movie streaming, or whatever they call the service, on other devices, so I've got no need to then spend another £79 or £99 on a separate device. I would like to try the new Google device though, it does look very interesting. Now, that was the minor sort of product announcement. The 2 very important product announcements are as follows. I'm going to refer to some notes on my iPad here. They announced the Google Nexus 6. Yes, a new smartphone, And gone are the days when you're going to get a cheap Google Nexus device, although the Nexus 5 is still going to be for sale. The Nexus 6 is a premium device. Think of it as a Moto X, second generation, the new one that's just come out, but with a larger screen, 5.96 inches quad HD display, that's 2560 by 1440 resolution, a 3220 mAh battery, 13 megapixel rear facing camera, 2 megapixel front facing camera, and the very latest in processors, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 quad-core 2.7 GHz processor and an Adreno GPU, Adreno 420. 32 gigabytes of memory, 3 gigabytes of RAM. This is a flagship phone. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm just looking at the pictures as I'm talking to you, and it really does look like a very, very nice phone. And of course, it's going to be running the very latest version of Android version 5, also known as Lollipop. Now, I really like the design. I can't work out what colour I like best. I do favour the white because I tend to favour white devices in the Apple products that I purchase. But it looks like a very, very nice smartphone. Will I be getting one in? Yes, I do plan to be getting one in to the Geekanoids studio so I can bring you my coverage on it and also my opinion. This is a real flagship device. It doesn't come in cheap. I'm not going to cover the prices here, but it's not as cheap as the previous versions of the Google Nexus phones. Now they also announced the Nexus 9, made by HTC. This is an 8.9 inch IPS display Google Android tablet, again running Google Android version 5 Lollipop, a 6700 milliamp hour battery, which sounds really impressive. That should power this device for a long time. 8 megapixel camera, 1.6 megapixel camera on the front, and also it has got 2 gigabytes of RAM and comes as either 16 or 32 gigabytes of internal storage. It sounds like a really nice design and a nice specification as well. The processor is one that I've only ever experienced in one device before, and that was the Nvidia Shield tablet, and it's the 64-bit Nvidia Tegra K1 dual Denver processor, and that's running at 2.3 gigahertz. It's also got a 192 core Kepler GPU. I know what that is, but whether that performs well or not, I've got absolutely no idea. No idea at all. Oh, I didn't also touch on the resolution. It's an 8.9 inch display, as I mentioned earlier. The resolution is 2048 by 1536, so it's QXGA resolution. And instead of the previous Nexus 7, which was I think a 16:9 format or wider format ratio, this is a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's the same as the iPad Air. Very, very interesting. And the other interesting thing that sort of captured my attention on this is because it's made by HTC, it's got those front-facing boom sound speakers. Now, my iPad Air that I'm using here to read these notes off, and indeed the new iPad Air 2, fantastic screen, but one of the letdowns, I think, is the placement of the speaker and also the quality of the speaker. It's okay, but it's not fantastic. Whereas when I reviewed the HTC One M8, their smartphone, those boom sound speakers are a great performer, very clear sound and very loud indeed. So will I be getting the Nexus 9 in? I know you're all waiting to hear whether I will be, and the answer is yes, I will get a Nexus 9 in to cover on the Geekanoids channel. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of the new Nexus devices in the comment section below, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.